We get a lot of questions about how to take care of a flute. What I suggest is that the most harmful thing to a flute is ultraviolet light, sunlight, in other words. If you're going to have it in your home on a stand, which is a great idea because the more it's out, the more you'll play it. But don't put it in a window. Put it in some place where it gets mostly shade throughout the day. And then when you do take it out, put it in a bag. I make flute bags. You can certainly buy them. You can make them if you sew, friends of yours that sew, an old sock, anything like that. But to protect the flute from the sun really helps. And the other aspect to that is maybe oiling it every once in a while. If you keep it protected all the time, you very rarely have to oil it. But if you're going to oil it, use an oil that's non-toxic and something that you don't mind putting your mouth on. There's an oil out there called the salad bowl oil, and I've found it in several hardware stores. And what it is, it's an oil they use for wooden salad bowls or wooden dishes. Any oils that will not go rancid. Most of your natural oils tend to go rancid. So use oils that are non-toxic and will not go rancid. And the aspect of oiling that's important is oil the bore, in other words, the large chamber all the way down, and also in the chamber of the mouthpiece. That's where you get the most amount of moisture in the mouthpiece. So oil that and leave the oil in there. If you swab it in there, just leave it and let it dry by itself. Speaking of moisture buildup comes from your breath. Your breath, as it comes out into the flute, it has moisture in the breath, and the moisture will condense, and you'll get a certain amount of moisture buildup. If you play for 30, 40 minutes, all of a sudden the flute will sound like it doesn't want to play anymore. It's clogged up. The best way to handle that is take your finger and cover the fipple hole, the rectangular hole in front of the fetish, the little bird, covered about halfway, and blow real hard in the flute, and you'll see little droplets come out. And then you can also take the flute and just shake it on the rug. I shouldn't say the rug. My friend, I did that the other day, and they said, don't ever do that in my house. So shake it outside because you get all the moisture out. But the moisture buildup, all wind instruments have that. It's just the nature of the thing, and because your breath does generate condensation. Now, the armature that we were talking about earlier in terms of how to place the flute on your mouth and closing the mouth end with part of your upper lip, that will help not getting a lot of moisture in there. So do practice getting that armature. Another thing that a lot of people ask me about is the fetish. The most important, the fetish meaning the little bird that's on top, the most important aspect to that is that it's got to be tied down very, very tight, really snug, very tight. If you can move it with your hand, it's not tight enough. You really need to snug it down because the air that goes through the bird, it's a functional piece, is under pressure. And if you have any leaks, if it's not tied down real tight, it'll have leaks all around it, and it will not get enough air going down the bore. And at the bottom note will not sound great. It'll break to the high octave very easily. So make sure it's tied down very snug, and the positioning of it should be centered in front of the rectangular hole called the fipple, and it should never cover any part of that hole. It should be just a hair back of that hole, and I mean like a hair, just barely in back of it, but never covering the hole. While we're at it, all this information is in the manual. There's a little booklet that comes with the audio or CD teaching cassette. So please read the manual. All the information is there. If you're anything like me, I get a box, a new product of some kind, and I get it out, take it out, plug it in, and I want to start using it right away. And I look at the manual about 2 months later and I go, oh my gosh, I could do all those things. So I don't blame you for that. You're excited. You want to start using the flute, but don't lose the manual. Read it. And a lot of the information that may not, the fingering charts, for instance, may not make a lot of sense to you right away, but it will a couple of months from now. Because the more you play, the more knowledge you'll gain, and the more curious you'll be what else you can do, and you'll want to refer back to that. So please read the manual. A lot of your questions will be in that, and it'll be a valuable tool for you. The flute this particular flute is such a wonderful instrument in terms of the fun you'll have with it. Take it with you wherever you go. Take it on walks and hikes. Full moon in your backyard, it sounds wonderful. Into a canyon. It's an instrument that's really designed to be out in nature, to be played outside. If you play it in the tile bathroom, you'll sound like just a concert flautist because it's just phenomenal. I've played in underground parking garages. It's not a fun place to hang out, but boy, the sound is phenomenal. So take it with you, make it a part of your life, and you'll be amazed what it'll give back to you. I have some songs I put together. They're going to be following this instruction, and the songs are in different keys. The keys will be noted on the cover of the tape or CD. And again, as we said earlier, the key of your flute is marked on the bottom and the back in a circle. And just play that particular song, play along with it. You don't have to play the exact same notes, but just get the idea, the rhythm of it. And the more you play with it, the more you'll get the idea of how to create a song and how to get a different rhythm. And that's what these songs are for. I recorded them very slowly, and you'll be able to follow along very easily. So play lots and have fun, and thanks.